find strength in God's promises. Psalm 18. The strength that comes from God, who delivers us from difficulties and gives us power to overcome the challenges of life. I love you, O Lord, my strength. Psalm 18 verse 1. When the world feels heavy, remember that God is our strength. He not only sustains us, but empowers us to continue, even when we feel like we can't go on. God is the one who gives us the strength to move forward, and our love for Him brings us closer to His immense capacity to protect and restore us.
The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer, my God, my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Psalm 18 verse 2. God is our rock, our secure foundation in times of storm. If you feel weak, remember that He is the fortress that never crumbles. In His presence, we find an unshakable refuge. He strengthens us to resist what comes against us, gives us protection like a shield, and leads us to a place of safety.
In my distress I called upon the Lord and cried to my God. He heard my voice from His temple, and my cry came before Him, even to His ears. Psalm 18 verse 6. No matter how desperate the situation may be, God always hears our cry. He is attentive to every word of our prayer. If you find yourself in difficulty, know that God is ready to respond. He is near you, listening to your needs and ready to act.
He sent from above, He took me, He drew me out of many waters. Psalm 18 verse 16. When we feel overwhelmed by life's troubles, God stretches out His hand and rescues us. He pulls us out of the most difficult situations and leads us to a safe place. No matter how intense the waters surrounding us may be, God's hand is stronger and more powerful.
The God who girds me with strength and makes my way perfect. Psalm 18 verse 32. God empowers us with strength, perfecting our ways. He does not leave us in the midst of the journey. On the contrary, He gives us everything we need to move forward with confidence. His strength makes us more than conquerors, regardless of the obstacles that arise in our path.
Reflection. God is the unshakable source of our strength. In His arms, we find shelter, and His powerful hand lifts us, even in the hardest times. Remember, true strength doesn't come from ourselves, but from God, who strengthens us by His immense grace. Cry out to Him, and He will always be ready to sustain you.
Psalm 46. The motivation of knowing that God is our refuge and strength, present in all circumstances. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Psalm 46 verse 1. In times of difficulty, remember that God is our refuge, our safe place. He is the one who provides immediate help when we face challenges. When circumstances seem out of control, we can rest assured that God will never leave us.
Therefore we will not fear, though the earth should change, and though the mountains slip into the heart of the sea. Psalm 46 verse 2. No matter what happens around us, we can be at peace, because we know that God is our strength. The mountains may tremble, the seas may rage, but in God we have a firm foundation that never fails. He is our sustenance, our peace in the midst of the storm.
God is in the midst of her. She will not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. Psalm 46 verse 5. God is with us in every situation. He dwells with us, strengthens us, and never leaves us. Even in the most difficult times, His presence in our lives gives us unshakable peace, and He helps us move forward.
Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations, I will be exalted in the earth. Psalm 46 verse 10. Sometimes we just need to stop and remember who God is. He is sovereign, and at all times He is in control. When we surrender to Him, acknowledging His supremacy, we find true peace. He is exalted, and we take refuge in His greatness.
Reflection. This psalm reminds us that, regardless of the confusion or problems around us, God is our rock. He sustains us, gives us peace, and protects us. When we feel weak or anxious, we can find strength in the assurance that He is our safe and constant refuge. We can rest in His sovereignty and His power.
Psalm 119. The importance of trusting in God's promises, finding motivation and faith through His teachings and direction. How can a young man keep his way pure? By guarding it according to your word. Psalm 119 verse 9. God's word is the key to purifying our hearts and guiding our lives. When we align ourselves with His word, we find the right path to follow. God's promises are firm, and by trusting in them, we are guided in our decisions and actions.
I have stored up your word in my heart, that I might not sin against you. Psalm 119 verse 11. Storing God's word in our hearts is a way to strengthen ourselves and protect us from temptations. When difficulties arise, it is His word that reminds us of the promises and gives us the courage to persevere.
This is my comfort in my affliction, that your word has revived me. Psalm 119 verse 50. In moments of anguish, it is God's word that revives us and gives us hope. His promises are a source of comfort and renewal. Even when we are struggling, God's word is a light that guides us and gives us life.
Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Psalm 119 verse 105. God's word is our light. It illuminates the paths of life, offering direction in moments of uncertainty. When we feel lost, we can trust that His word will guide us back to the right path, bringing clarity and peace.
Great peace have those who love your law, nothing can make them stumble. Psalm 119 verse 165. When we love God's word and follow it with all our hearts, we experience true peace. This peace protects us from falling into the traps of the enemy. Loving God's word brings security and stability, no matter the challenges we face.
Reflection. God's word is our guide. When we trust in His promises and apply them in our lives, we find direction, motivation, and faith to move forward. The Bible is not just a book of stories, but a manual for life that gives us strength to face each new day with hope and confidence. May we always hide God's Word in our hearts and find in it the comfort and motivation to press on.
Reflection on the Psalms. As we meditate on these Psalms, we see that true strength comes from God's promises. He is our rock, our fortress, our safe refuge. In times of difficulty, we can trust in Him to sustain, guide, and give us the peace we so desperately need. When we hold on to His words, we find direction, strength, and hope. May we always remember that God is with us, ready to rescue us and give us the strength we need to overcome any challenge. No matter the storm, God's presence is our security, and His Word is the light that guides us. May we always find strength in God's promises and move forward with unwavering faith.
If this message has touched your heart, please subscribe to the Faithful Path channel and share this video with someone who needs to find strength in God's promises. May God bless your life with His peace and strength.